Here today. Morning and welcome to City Skylines. My name is Aaron, aka Grishno, and this is the town of Springwood. So if you've been following this series for the last few episodes, then you know that we've been focused on building up this downtown area. And I'm really excited about how well it's taking off, but I've noticed one thing. The big thing that I've noticed down here is that this is all residential buildings, so we're not getting the same sort of density, these tall buildings in our commercial or office zones as we are in the residential zone. So I'm hoping that eventually this will start to bring up these other areas. We have a lot of high density commercial zones down here that I'm really hoping start to fill in, and we'll see if they do throughout the remainder of this episode. So as I've mentioned, this is the, I believe, 7th episode in this Let's Play, so we are starting to get a little far, or we're starting to get a ways on in this city, and that's really exciting. But we're also starting to get a little bit further into this Let's Play, and so I did want to let you know that I've been coming and checking on the comments. I have been responding to people, and I've also been watching the videos to try and figure out what it is that I can do better. And so I'm trying to change a few things this episode to really step up the quality of the episodes in general. So I hope that you are able to notice a difference in the quality of the Let's Play, and if you have suggestions or feedback, then we welcome it in the comments below. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Facility full. What's full over here? Our cemetery. Let's see what we can do about that. Sometimes managing these little things like the cemeteries and things like that are a little hard. If we're gonna manage this one, sorry, we have a lot of cows over there. If we're gonna manage this one, what we want to do is make sure that there is a crematorium nearby that they can send the bodies to. So we have a park over here. We have this big cemetery. Looks like we have something in the way there, but we have a couple of small houses over here that I think we can easily get rid of. And hopefully that will allow us to empty out the cemetery and keep people in this district nice and happy, since they won't have to deal with corpses coming through and you know, ruining their day. I mean, it's not a great day when you're just walking down the street and all of a sudden there's a corpse of a dead person. So you might question your city's I guess policies that they have in place if that's the issue that's going on. Looks like we have some international flags here. Maybe this is like an embassy way or something, but is this Italy, Spain, Germany, Great Britain? That's pretty exciting. We have like a little international boulevard in the city. That's really neat. So today I had one big project that I was hoping that we could work on, and we'll spend the next maybe 20 or 30 minutes bringing this. Oh, what's this? They really like that crematorium. That's fantastic. I think that these are residential buildings, though. They look the same as the other ones, so I think that they are, but this is great. We are building a lot more density. Look at how happy they are over here. That's fantastic. Oh, the city's really coming together. It's really starting to look good. But as I was saying, today we are going to be focusing on sort of a long-term project that I've been looking at, and that is the extension of the railway. In a previous episode, we did bring the railway into the city over here. So you can see it crossing the bridge right there, and it's going to come out of a tunnel right there, come down, get into this station, which I think is just gorgeous, and then it's going to exit around this loop and back out through a tunnel. So one of the big reasons for using the tunnels here is that we did have a really nice area that we built up over on this side. If you remember, this is sort of our big university area. We have a big park and we have some low density, and we didn't want to really affect that. So we were able to bring it in right there with a tunnel and then just come out sort of next to the downtown and drop people off. So we're gonna focus on doing something similar to the area over here, but we really want to bring it down here, all the way to the, I guess this is the south side of the city, but we're starting to get to the point where we're building up here. This freeway entrance is picking up speed. We have a ton of room to expand right here, and even last time we added this very pretty opera house up on top of the hill. We have lots of walking paths taking people all around the city, and I think it's time that we bring a rail station in so that we can get some tourists coming into the city. Excuse me while I take a drink. There we go. Sorry about that. Talking is, it actually does take a lot of work. So a few things that we need to consider when we are expanding our railroad. So we've already built up the river side on the city side, at least. Over here we have all of these beautiful pathways, biking paths, walking paths, forests and parks. Hey, look at this! Capital City! Oh my goodness, we can make a harbor. Oh, this might throw some wrenches into the plans. We'll see how we go. We can also make a cargo harbor, and we can bring ships into the city. This is something that we've been really wanting to do, and I'm really looking forward to making that happen. So maybe we'll get it this episode, maybe we'll move on to that next episode. But I do want to continue bringing our railroad down the shore. And again, we're going to avoid the left side of the river because that's really built up. We want to keep that nice for people. So let's see what we can do. First off, we're just going to bypass this big station right here, the first rail station, and we still want trains to be able to come in easily and get onto that. But since this is going to be a passenger rail, we really want to focus on just making sure that it has as few interruptions as possible and that people are able to get in and out of the city very quickly. So in order to avoid this whole area, oh my gosh, our traffic is starting to get really heavy right there. In order to avoid a lot of the congestion that's coming around here, we're just going to build a bridge up through the city like that. We'll probably pop it up over here and just keep it going down the shoreline like this. And honestly, a lot of major cities in the United States and even all across the world do this, where they convert this beautiful waterfront into train tracks and roads, and it was a real big I guess, way of dealing with the issues that arise around shipping and moving goods around a society. And so for a long time, this was sort of the default way to move goods through a system. But we've seen in the last several years a move to sort of reclaim some of those spaces. And so I've tried to strike a balance in this city where we do have some beautiful pedestrian access over here to the river, but we still do have our old school cities. All right, so this is really where we're going to need to focus. And honestly, I may have done this wrong. So I'm looking at it and I really feel like we might want this to turn a little bit sharper. And come out here like this. Now, granted, that's not going to be really great for the trains. I don't think that they'll enjoy it as much, but I really want... Oh, that's too much. It was too much of a curve. What I want... There we go. Is to bring the railroad right here. There we go. So we have our river crossing here. I would normally take it down that side of the river, go behind these water treatment plants, but as you can see, we don't actually own that land. So we do need to cross up here, and I don't have any plans of actually buying that land. So I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. So now that we have the rail over here, let's focus on bringing in a railroad or a railroad station and see what we can do. We could honestly put one up here. Slope too steep, height too high, height too high, height too high. What does that even mean, height too high? What if we just use one of the height too high? Well, I can't put one here. Can I put this one there? I can. So this is going to change a little bit about how we're going to handle the railroad as it comes in, because we need to get it back here behind the Opera House. So let's see what we can do about that. We will probably end up doing is very similar to the last entrance that we brought into the city, and that is create a tunnel. But I think that does mean redoing at least the end part, or the second half of this bridge. So we'll start by just bringing that in. I really like that. And we'll see if we can just pop it right into the wall there. Slope too steep, space already occupied. I mean, it looks like we were able to make a tunnel. Let's get down in here and look. But something didn't go right. So we're gonna try it again. And see if we can get this a little bit nicer. So we do have to go down into the tunnel. Okay, so we can create a nice long path like that, and I think that should work. We can go underneath the Opera House. And we want to come up almost directly into that. So we're just gonna come up here. And there we go. So we did have to sacrifice a little bit of residential area there, and honestly, this is not going to stay residential for long. Who would want to live in this house right here? You have a train tunnel. You are close to the opera, so if you like the opera, you do have some spectacular views, but you do have a train right behind your house. So hopefully that will help bring some tourists down to this side of the city, and that means that it's probably time to start expanding. We do have a ton, and I mean an absolute ton, of demand right now for industrial space or office space. And as you know, I'm a big fan of building offices and trying to get some density here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to build, I think, I really like these curves. I really like these curves, and I want to see what I can do about keeping them. So if we go out 2 and we come up, the connection here isn't right. We go out 2 and we come up. That's pretty good. We'll do it right here again. The connection's not right, but we'll go out 3 and come up. That's too much. So we want to go out 2 and just a bit and come up. And honestly, we're close. We're close, but that's not it. Just a little bit more. There we go. So that's pretty nice. I think if we do something like that, we can keep it going up this way towards the freeway. See what we get when we do that. It won't be the prettiest curves, it won't be the straightest curves, but since when have you known me to do anything straight? So I think for here the best tool is probably going to be the brush tool, and we're just going to brush this in. We're just going to paint it up and get some office space going on over here. So this should fill up very quickly. You can see that they're already moving in, and that honestly is not even surprising given the amount of demand that we have. It's maxed out. It is all the way at the top, and they are just gobbling this up. At the same time, we're going to do a couple things. So we want to actually get rid of some of this low density residential. This was sort of a placeholder back in the day when we were just starting to build this area, but I don't think it's relevant any longer. We also want to think about long term. What's this going to look like up here? Traffic, we already know, is just going to be a monster. It's just going to be a monster in here. All of these businesses, in order to get on the freeway, they need to come all the way down to this one, this long straight road here, and then go down this curve. So there's just a really long way, and maybe what we can do is free some of the people up to take the bus. You notice we have this whole area over here, sort of a second city center, and we don't have any way to get to it without driving, and that's a problem, especially in a big, beautiful city like this. We really should be focusing on having a wonderful and accessible public transit system. So let's have a line. It's going to go down this boulevard, really through this big residential area. I think we'll probably end up connecting it to this other downtown area right here. I'll just go down like that. How far do we want to take it? We could bring it back on the freeway, honestly. Could be like an express bus or something. And check into a couple of these stops. What would it take to get on the freeway? Looks like there's an entrance right there. So if we bring that all the way over here, that will take us on the freeway. And we don't want any big stops on this main road, I think. Maybe we do. I'm just really worried about blocking traffic, especially right as we get off the freeway. But maybe there's a good option. We'll bring it down here through this new office area and then over the bridge to connect. And people seem to enjoy that. That's really good. I'm happy about that. People, do they have water? They do have water, but they aren't very happy with their park situation. And I understand, I get it. You wanna have some nice parks in your new area. We have a plaza with picnic tables that we could put in. We have a plaza with trees. I kind of like this plaza with trees. Maybe we'll put one right here on this corner. Is it crazy to put one across the street? Just sort of build that up. I think we're looking okay. At least on this side of the map. The other side of the map. Yeah, they don't get parks. They don't get parks. Alright, so we have successfully dealt with that demand for office space, but now we still have a medium demand for commercial zones. And so we can look at this. We did just take this area out, and I think that that's going to be a really good place to build up some additional commercial space. So we will just give them some access there. It's along a nice big strip. Lots of people are going to be traveling here. I believe we had a little bit of public transit that was going on down here, so these businesses should be pretty happy with their lot in life, and that, you know what, that makes me happy. So we're doing pretty well as far as the finances of the city go. We're making 13,000 every cycle, every week. Right now in the bank we have $750,000, and honestly we could burn through that fast. We could get through that in just a couple purchases. So we're going to continue saving up. We're not going to go on any real big spending sprees at the moment, but we're just going to sort of wait and see how we want to spend this money. One of the options that we do have is building a port. We could build a harbor, and this, I think, something over here, maybe down here. Yeah, so we could very easily build a harbor down here. It looks like we can't build it up here. That's pretty disappointing. The connection is right there, and I guess for some reason they would have to drive over the land to get there. That's a bummer. If we did buy over here, which again I am not planning to buy over here, but we could eventually, we could make a port over here for some of our cargo. But we could bring people into the city pretty easily along this coast right here. So that, I think, is something that we're going to look at. That is going to cost us $80,000 just to put in the port. And that's not counting any of the infrastructure that we'd have to build around it. We would need a way for people to get to and from the harbor. We would need roads, water, power. We would need all sorts of things to make sure that we were handling that appropriately. So we're going to think about that. Maybe in the next episode we'll build a harbor down here and we'll make a whole harbor district. That could be a lot of fun. But let me know what you think in the comments down below or in the chat on the live stream. But let's check out our downtown. See how we're doing down here. Looks like we have some new buildings, and these are exciting. I have been spending a little bit of time on the Steam Workshop, and getting new buildings has been something that I've been really looking into. I was looking over at this area and feeling like a lot of the buildings were the exact same. And so this is one of those new buildings that I was able to pick out on the Steam Workshop. And I didn't build this. This built on its own. It just sort of works its way into the game. So it's not something that you place. But that's pretty exciting to see things that I've downloaded start to pop in to the city, and this is really just a beautiful building. I wonder what that will look like at night. Looks like we have a little helipad on top. It's pretty exciting when you start to think about how big our city's starting to get, especially some of this area over here. We have just tons of buildings. And I am a huge fan. Of course, these buildings are right next to our farms. I am a huge fan of the way that this old style architecture right here plays in to, you know, you sort of have these boulevards and then you have these big buildings filling up the streets, and it really makes it feel to me like a real city. That is something that I just think is spectacular. So I'm really a big fan of what's happening right here. Anyway, that is about 20 minutes on this episode, so I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Again, I've been trying to really improve this Let's Play series and get a little bit better at slowing down and really taking in the scenes and just looking at some of the beautiful scenery that is being created in this city here. So I'm pretty excited about how we're shaping up, and I hope that you are too. I hope that you've enjoyed the Let's Play. I hope that you've enjoyed this series so far. If you have, please hit the like button. It does help out a great deal. Let people know about the channel if that's something that you're interested in doing. And until next time, I'm Grishno, and I'll see you later. Thanks so much.